Hi there guys, Josh Porter back here again. Today we are going to be talking about changing a tyre and how to remove the tyre, so taking it on and off the rim. I know there's many conceptions and whatnot out there about how you should do it, how you shouldn't do it. But yeah, today I'm going to hopefully clarify this for you guys, give you some insight into how to change tyres and what's sort of going on really. So firstly, there are three different tyres you can get. You can get your standard clincher that basically everyone runs. You can get a tubeless tyre, basically where you just remove the inner tube. It's a bit more to the setup, and you use sealant instead of having the inner tube. So basically, if you do get a puncture or anything, the sealant plugs the hole, keeps riding. Well, I had it on my bike in the rear. I got home, I was like, what's all this? Didn't realise it was sealant running around the frame where I got a puncture. Didn't even know I had a puncture. So tubeless is good in many ways. The last one is tubular, so you use this for maybe time trialling. It's a bit old school, mostly track bikes on the velodrome, due to just the steep angle of the track. You can use clinchers, but tubs you can run them at higher pressures, tend to be a bit faster, and that's mostly that as well. So when removing a tyre, I see people grabbing for tyre levers, going for screwdrivers. I've seen it all. So what you want to do is get your tyre. You want to remove all the air. Don't know how loud that was. I do apologise if that was pretty loud. So you want to remove all the air from your tyre, and then you want to pop the bead. So you simply just get your tyre and then pull it into the centre of the rim, the whole way around. I think this is the one thing not many people do. They try yanking tyre levers in there and all sorts, and they just can't get it off. So you go around the whole tyre, both ways, both beads, just popping it off. Tubeless tyres, I'm going to admit, are much harder to get on and off, due to the nature of them needing to have a good seal mostly. So yeah, with this tyre, you're going to just literally, I don't know how to show you. So you just want to pinch it with your two thumbs, like I'm doing there. Just pinch it at the bead, and then you sort of pinch and then lift up and over the side. Pinch up and over until you start getting that. And you just work your way around, so up and over, two thumbs, pinch up and over, and just work your way around the tyre. And then at that stage, you can then just make sure that you pull the inner tube out as well before you do yank the tyre off, because you don't want to rip the inner tube. And you go pinch up and over on the other bead, and the tyre should just come off. Nice and simple. Now, I think this is the part that everyone struggles with. So you want to get your new tyre. Well, I'm just going to reuse this one because I have no need to change it. But say if you've got your new tyre, I always like to line my logos up with a valve hole. And basically, yeah, good mate taught me, and I've never done it any other way since. More aesthetically than anything. So you want to, with my OCD, get it as straight as possible, match the logos up. But then you want to make sure that the bead again is in the middle of the rim, going all the way around. And then you will get a little bit that's just, well, luckily this tyre is easy to slide on, but usually you get a bit that will sit about, use this as an example, that will sit about there, and it will look like it sits there. So you would then want to just go around popping the, making sure, not popping the bead, but making sure that the tyre sits in the middle of the rim, both sides, and then you may be able to just roll on by hand. It's usually the case is people get to a tight spot and go, wow, how do I do that? But then it's just the tyre has automatically seated itself against the bead already. So yeah, double check that your tyre is not on the bead at not all times, but whenever you're taking it on or removing it off. And in the tubes as well, just enough air so you get a round shape. Not so much that you're cranking loads of pressure in. I've seen people put tubes in flat and just go straight to pumping them up to 100 psi or whatever. It doesn't end well. Yeah, definitely pre-inflate air in the tube just a little bit. Right, so coming back to it, I've heard people say to finish at the valve, but in my personal opinion, I always start at the valve. So you drop the inner tube into the valve, and then you want to pick up the tyre and then get it over the inner tube like that. Then you just want to go the whole way around and just start tucking the inner tube into the tyre whole way around. If you've inflated it slightly too much, don't worry, you can just let a bit of pressure out. So luckily for this one, slid on quite nicely. As you see now, the whole tyre is basically ready for the final side to be put on. So once again, as I said, you always start at the valve, so you just want to start working your way around the bead. And after I've done a couple of rotations with this, what I want to do is just push it up, so that way you don't trap the valve under the bead. So when you inflate it, it lifts the bead up. You want to push the bead out rather than lift it up, which is what most people do, or the main cause of blowing up inner tubes is just the way that people just fit them, really. So you want to come around, as I'm doing here, you just want to push in the bead, working the whole way around the tyre. Because here is my issue. It's not an issue. Here is just the final bit, as you can see. It's just gone tight, so you want to start on the valve here, and then you just want to, like this way, push the bead into the centre of the tyre, working down both sides is how I do that. So you just want to go all the way down, working it on, pop, there you go. Simple as. And at this stage, double check the valve is not under the bead. Because I pre-inflated it slightly, I know the bead won't be caught, or the inner tube won't be caught under the bead, which is what happens if you put it in flat, which can lead to obviously the inner tube going boom, or yeah, worse stuff. If you were doing a puncture on this one, I would take the tyre off completely, feel under the tyre the whole way around whilst looking at it for thorns, nails, anything really. But the one other thing that people don't usually check, and it's understandable, is the rim tape. So there'll be a tape going all the way around the wheel which hides the top of the spokes. They're basically holes, so if the rim tape isn't sat over it and it's exposing that hole, the inner tube goes in, boom. That's another cause of punctures really. So finishing off, every time I inflate a tyre, I always, regardless of whether I know it's not going to be pinched or not, I always inflate, give me a sec, I always inflate to 20 psi and then go around the whole tyre, both sides, checking that the bead is sat on correctly and there's nothing unusual going on. So you just check around, making sure that there is no sign of anything funky going on really, anything looking abnormal, or the inner tube about to basically explode. Because yeah, with inner tubes they don't go quietly, should we say. So you just want to keep pumping up once you get to your desired pressures. Ranges from Tyre on this 25mm. Personally, I'm a bit old school with my tyre pressures, so I'll probably run it around about 110 psi. But on the rear of that same bike, I run at 30mm and I run at about 80 psi. Just different comfort on the back really. So then once you've blown your tyre up to your desired pressures, checked the bead is sat on correctly, done up your valve, put any little additions on that you want to do. I always run these little lock rings because it just stops rattling going on the road. We get loads of people being like, oh, I've got a rattle with my bike, what's going on? And then you realise that the valve's just not done up and they've got the valve rattling against the metal of the wheel. So you want to just do it up nicely there, not overly tighten it, just get it enough so that when it starts pushing back against you quite bad, well, not quite badly, but pushing back and you can't gently turn it anymore, just stop. No more valve noise. So there you go. I hope this video was informative. Hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, subscribe for more.